Hey guys, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 1993 fantasy adventure comedy cult classic film Hocus Pocus, directed by Kenny Ortega, starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy. Is that how you say her name? Najimy? Najimy? I can't say her name. I'm sorry. So this movie failed at the box office back in 1993. Disney produced it. Didn't make money. They had the three big named, celebs playing these witches. Kenny Ortega was doing a lot of stuff back then for Disney. Kenny Ortega is the mind behind the fantastic High School Musical franchise. He's doing the Descendants franchise right now. Kenny Ortega knows what he's doing. But in 1993, no one cared about this film. And then no one really cared about this film until like the 15th anniversary of the movie, which is weird to say. So figure like 2008. I was a senior in high school. And that's when people started. Well, to be honest, I graduated in 2008. So fall 2008, I just finished high school. But that's when people first started to talk about it. Like, oh, do you remember Hocus Pocus? Like, Hocus Pocus is great. I love Hocus Pocus, and it became this cult thing. It became this cult classic film because people were like, oh, I remember Hocus Pocus. I remember Hocus Pocus. So it's one of those things where you're like, is it actually as good as everybody says it is? Or is it only good because everyone says it's good? Which is the same exact way of saying exactly what I said. And to answer that question, yes, Hocus Pocus is amazing. It is great. I remember seeing it in the 90s. I remember seeing it in the 2000s. I remember seeing it in the 2010s. So I was very confused back in 08 up until now. 10 years later, we're in 2018. Oh my God, that's a horrifying thought 10 years later. Everyone started to gain the momentum, and then ABC Family, which is now Freeform, started to do marathons. Hocus Pocus Marathon. Oh, Hocus Pocus Marathon. Oh, remember to make sure to see Hocus Pocus tonight at 8. And then everybody's like, oh, I love Hocus Pocus. And then 5-ish years ago, Disney, as in Disneyland, Disney World, any Disney park started to do Mickey's Spooktacular event, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. So then there's always shows and stuff. And they introduced the three witches into the Sanderson sisters, into, the show. And they're the main villains of the show. They're the main storytellers. Because they sing I Put a Spell on You in the movie, which is only an hour and a half long. It's great. And then ever since then, it's just more and more and more. And I just had a conversation with my bro the other day about this, actually. We were in Spirit Halloween. There's a whole Hocus Pocus section. And he's like, bro, I don't remember this being so popular when we were kids. And I was like, bro, I understand. We're from Long Island. We say bro. Bear with me. So I'm like, bro, I completely understand. And he's like, bro, what happened? And then we were talking about that Disney thing. And he's like, no, yo, I'm going to Disney soon. I got to send you videos and stuff. So he's in Disney World. I've been seeing the videos and stuff. And it's great. It's a nice cult phenomenon. They as in Disney, recently published a book which was adapted from the original screenplay of the story of Hocus Pocus and made a sequel. As in 25 years later, the Sanderson sisters are back wreaking havoc. And what to do? I have not read the book, so I can't really comment on the sequel. Eventually, I will read it because Hocus Pocus is a great story about witches in Salem, haunting and stuff. There's Billy, who's played by, what's his face? I can't remember his name. He's the voice of SpongeBob. The hell's his name? I can't remember. But it's a great thing. And you see so many Hocus Pocus memes, obviously all throughout fall, obviously all throughout Halloween season. But they start in July. That's what you gotta realize. All these Hocus Pocus memes start end of June, July. Because it's oh, everyone's excited for, 4th of July. But me and my people are excited for a real holiday. And then it's haha, all the witches dancing and flying on brooms and doing their Hocus Pocus thing. But it's fun. Ah, the glorious morning makes me sick. Book. Such a quotable film because it's a cult classic. That's why. Now, my question's for you. Do you remember Hocus Pocus coming out in the 90s? Did you watch it in the 90s? Did you only watch it come the 15th-ish anniversary? Did you watch it come the 20th anniversary and the 25th anniversary, which is this year? That's why they released the book. What are your opinions on this cult classic, which failed miserably at the box office, but became a cult classic? So millions of dollars of revenue has been succumbed because succumbed's not the word. Culminated. Let's go with culminated. Because of the cult status of it. Speaking of cult films, Empire Records came out in the 90s, 1995, right? Every April 8th is Rex Manning Day. It's Rex Manning Day, right? So, or is it the 6th? April 6th or April 8th? I believe it's April 8th. Anyway, every April 8th, let's just say it's the 8th. I'm assuming it's the 8th. I'm 99% sure it's the 8th, but I could be wrong. It's always one of the top 3 trending topics on Twitter because it's a cult classic. And guess what? There's this Broadway stage adaptation of Empire Records coming to Broadway within the next 2 years, I believe. Look what happened with Mean Girls. It's a cult classic film, right? Mean Girls, the 2004 movie, was based off of a book, actually, became a successful Broadway show, which I'm hoping and planning to see in March for my birthday. Fingers crossed. Devil Wears Prada is another good example. 2004 movie, based off of a book. Not a Broadway musical yet, but you know damn well it's going to be, because that's what happens with cult classics. They become more popularized because it's a marketable thing. That's just how it works. Why is there another Harry Potter thing on Broadway now? Because it's Harry Potter. Harry Potter can do anything. Harry Potter could have an ice show and make billions of dollars in revenue. The Harry Potter ice show, that would be hysterical. Or the Wizarding World ice show. I see it now. So much money can be made. And that's why they make cult classic merchandise. Because when a show is so successful on a cult front, they make a sequel, they make merchandise. There is a Disney Channel remake of Hocus Pocus coming about 2 years from now? Next year? I don't remember. But that's because the first one became a cult classic roughly 10 years ago. Because it's marketable. It's profitable. Hocus Pocus is great. If you don't like Hocus Pocus, this is why we're not friends. It's just as simple as that. This is why we can't be friends. That's it. Happy Halloween, you guys. Mucho mahalo.